Greetings, YouTube. I don't know about you, but my family traces its history back to immigration. Now, some of you watching this may be Native Americans and family may have been here for over 10,000 years. But most of us, particularly those of us of this complexion, we came from Europe. Some of us came from Europe really early. My wife can trace her ancestry all the way back to the first colony in Salem. Her family's been here a long friggin' time. Um, but I can trace my family back to the 19th century in the great immigration wave that came in from Europe. And my family in particular came from coal country because my family were coal miners. Though my grandfather did work in the coal mines, it was his father, I believe, that died of black lung. If I keep my history correct, and so I don't buy into a lot of the mythology of America. I know where I've come from. I am from immigrants, hard workers, blue collar workers, and I believe that the people, like my family, should be the ones that reap the benefits of the wealth they create. Yes, I'm a dirty socialist. Most of us came from immigrants. Almost all of us came from immigrants. And all the white people who are currently, at least for the next couple of decades, the still the demographic majority, they came from immigrants. And yet, we treat immigrants very poorly in America, and we seem to have a real hate on for refugees. And I don't quite understand that. At the time of this recording, there are refugees walking across Mexico, walking more than 1,000 miles to get to our border in the southern United States. How many Americans, people who were born here, have the gumption, have the strength, have the fortitude to walk more than 1,000 miles in the hopes of reaching freedom? Because these people aren't an invading army. I think that the most there's 4,000 of them. That's not a lot of people, folks. And it's a good chance that a lot of them may just peel off from the caravan as they come and settle in other areas. But some of them are going to make it to the American southern border, and they're going to apply for asylum because they're refugees. Now, the current administration will probably say, no, you can't come here. It's because you're running away from violence and chaos and corrupt governments that we, the United States, helped create. No, we can't take you in. Because that's what they're doing. They're running away from organized crime, from corruption of governments, and from crime committed by governments. They're running away from the chaos that the United States has sown in their homelands. Because you have to remember, if there were no American drug market for all those illicit things that they sell in those countries and smuggle into America, those cartels would have no strength. And they would not be fielding armies of criminals willing to do anything they can and exploit and kill anyone in their way to get those drugs to our American market. And if the American government wasn't screwing with their government structures, they'd be a lot better off. Go look up the phrase "banana republic," not the poorly named corporation, which I've always thought was incredibly tacky, but the actual banana republic, where the United States government helped overthrow another nation so that banana importers could get better prices. Yes, the United States does these things. There's almost no nation in Central and South America that at some point the United States hasn't screwed with. And we have sown the seeds of chaos, and now the citizens of those nations suffer as they reap the harvest. The one that we planted. and then acted like we had nothing to do with it. So, when those refugees get to the United States, when they apply for asylum, they should be let in. We caused their suffering. The least we can do is take in a few thousand of their victims and help them start a new life. This is a big country. Unemployment's really low at the moment, thanks to the last administration. We can absorb these workers. Heck, there are places in America right now that are desperate for workers. Places that have publicly admitted, well, without undocumented workers, we can't run our businesses. And all of the businesses that currently do that should be shut down and the owners arrested. You're not going to make sure of the status of your employees. That makes you a criminal. Go after the business owners if you want to stop undocumented workers. But refugees are different. Refugees are people who are coming here through the legal process that we have established and asking asylum. So let them in. If you're pissed off about undocumented workers, go after the business owners that hire them. But don't take that enmity out on refugees. Don't buy into the Republican bullshit that refugees are the problem for all of the things in your life that aren't going well. They're not the cause, folks. The problems you have are almost always traceable back to socially conservative and politically conservative pro-business politicians. Go after the pro-business politicians. Leave the refugees alone. Take in the victims of our chaos. And stop punishing people who didn't do anything wrong. And start going after the people who did.